Hello everybody and welcome to another knockoff review thanks to TF Direct. Today we're taking a look at the latest offering from Mech Fan Toys. This is part of their new Mech Soul line in association with Lost Planet. This is the Assault Soldiers Mech Soul 01. It's their first original design and I've heard nothing but good things. Can't guarantee the artwork is original because they do have a tendency to borrow people's art and not give them any credit whatsoever, but the figure is original and he is a very good interpretation of a Legends kind of size Springer. Quick look around the box, great artwork on the front, and we have Springer on the back there, and much like some of the other Mech Fan Toys products, we're getting these very small mech suits from Diaclone. I am a huge Diaclone fan and I do support the official brand. I try and buy as much of that as I physically can, but it's nice to top up an army build with all of these added accessories. Like most of the Mech Fan Toys products, he comes packaged in a plastic clamshell. And before we take an in-depth look at Springer, let's take a look at some of his accessories. He comes with these two-part blade system. Can't say I'm a big fan of this type of sword. It's very much like what we got with the Warbot figure. It flips out and then plugs in to the top as a rotor blade, but I don't like how these look, and I can't help but feel they're going to kind of fall apart on me. The pins are quite loose on those, but that being said, it's not a terrible looking sword. It's quite a nice blade on there, not incredibly sharp. Unlike some of the parts on Springer, he is kind of scarily sharp. Now he comes with two rifles which can fit on in his hands or on in his vehicle mode. The nice thing about all of these weapons as well is the exosuits for the Diaclone figures have these storage ports on the back, and all of the holes and tabs are designed to kind of interact with these mechs as well, which kind of brings both the Diaclone and this kind of Legends scale interaction to the next level. Again, we've got some guns here which can be positioned on Springer in his vehicle mode, but can also be positioned, which is my personal preference, on the back of the mech armor. So it can just come up and over the shoulders. Now the mech armor itself is nothing kind of out of the blue. It's nothing really that new, but it's nice to have it in this kind of halo green style. We can just open up that cockpit and we have a section there for a pilot to stand in. Got some detailing on the inner side of that cockpit. We can bring that down. Got the visor section at the top. The shoulders can go forwards and backwards on a butterfly joint. We can go up, down, out to the side. We have a rotation in there. We have a nice bend on the elbow, and we have a mushroom peg there allowing for rotation on the wrist. We don't get any rotation on this lower part. This is all part and parcel of the place where he can stand on the inside. Legs can come forwards, backwards, out to the side. We get a hinged ankle, so it goes forwards and backwards, and there's a ball joint there allowing for left and right and some pivoting, and due to its transformation we can slide the legs up and down on that back axis. And just in case you don't think he has enough firepower, he also comes with a nice little rifle there and a kind of grabbing claw accessory, which again can be placed in his hand or can be placed on various different ports, but yes, he definitely looks somewhat intimidating as far as mechs go. We get his storage container done in this kind of army khaki green, really nice colouring. And again, we just open that up and we've got some storage on either side here for the weapons and accessories, and we've got some detailing just on the back wall there, and that all slides in, and this can interact with some of the other Diaclone figures. And you just link underneath. There's so much playability with that Diaclone line. And here we have Mr. I have better things to do today than die himself. Springer is in the large Legends scale. Mech Fan Toys and Mech Planet kind of made their own scale to coincide with those oversized Legends figures from the likes of Machine Boy. They upsized the likes of DX9 and Iron Factory as well, which I don't entirely agree with, but at the same time they are delivering very good versions of those figures. Now, Springer himself is definitely a good looker. For a Legends figure, he has a very nice head sculpt. The shoulders appear to be a little bland, but I think that's excusable considering his size and stature. We've got a nice range of motion there. Left and right shoulders have pulled out. They can go up, they can go all the way around. There is some resistance on the back. They just need to make sure you don't clip these pegs on the side. We get a ball joint, so we got a nice range on that elbow, loads of crazy range. We get an additional bend, so we've basically got a double elbow joint there, and we get a mushroom peg rotation on that wrist. The waist is predominantly a fixed unit, but you can just grab the legs, and if you notice on the back side there is a little bit of range, but most of this sculpt here is fixed to the back panel. We have this motion forwards, this motion backwards, out to the side, upper thigh rotation. We get a rather dubious bend at the knee. I don't like the cut on that bend, but I suppose you can get some pretty kind of dynamic, heroic poses going on from being where it is. And we get a lot of range on these feet as well, up, down, left and right, and an incredibly nice pivot there. And there we have them both posed up together. Springer with his blades and our little mech suit there, armed up. If you tab in the guns onto the mech suit's shoulders, you can actually tab Springer's guns in on top of those. The grooves just kind of fit together, and there's actually 2 claws as well included in the set, and I've just tabbed those just on the back of that gun section there. But as you can see, as Springer goes around, we do have some hollowed out gaps on the back of his legs, which I know a lot of people aren't fans of, but at the same time he's very attractive from the front in terms of a Legends figure. And to perform a triple changer, personally I can let that slide. But yeah, these guys are definitely armed to the teeth and definitely ready to fight. I just love how they look, and that green is perfect. Now, with so many different companies, shapes, sizes of characters on the market, you can make up a really nice cast. Now, I'm not completely ruling out the Hasbro and Takara Legends, because for somebody like Wheelie, for example, I think that could actually work. But at the same time, we get characters like Starscream, and he is just absolutely tiny and just not gonna fit in with this kind of aesthetic. Whereas the Sharkticons, yes, I think they're again a really good size. So what do we got here? We've got Mech Fan Toys, Mech Planet, and a little bit of Mr. Moon in there as well. And I must say, TF Direct has supplied me with the Mech Fan Toys oversized dinos done in the cartoon-esque colours as well, and these are absolutely incredible. Swoop It's red though. Personally, I would have liked him to be blue, but beggars can't be choosers. But they're sludge. Oh, you can't kind of see him really, just poking his head round the side there. He is absolutely incredible. Really good figure. But anyway, this is about Springer, and yes, he looks perfecto with these guys. And you know what? I reckon if somebody had killed off Hot Rod, I think Springer would have had the Matrix. Right now, enough rambling. Let's get this guy transformed up into his vehicle modes. First port of action is to push the shoulders inwards on both sides, and the same goes for the legs. Make sure that they're square at the hips and the thighs, and just push and tab those together. Rotate the arms so the hinge is on the outside. Rotate the fists so they're facing inwards. Go full on Exorcist and rotate the head around. Bring the chest panel up, and as we do so, they've got just enough room to push this head down into this void, and this comes all the way up. Come around to the feet and rotate them out on this hinge. Pull this piece over at those large knee joints. As it comes over, make sure these parts are to the side, and if you look closely, there are some small kind of hook tabs on the back of the top there, and they're just going to push and tab and lock in. Although these sections here aren't actually mentioned in the instructions, you want to just swing them up, over and around, and they just sit to the side there. Make sure these hands are underneath, and now I know it's not perfect, still better than the Fans Toys alt mode in my opinion. I'm not trying to be bitchy at all. I love Fans Toys. I think their Springer looks incredible in Here's Robot mode, but I really don't like the alt modes. I don't think they look finished. I mean, not like Toy World Layer, not finished, but just not quite up to Fans Toys standard, in my opinion. You know, I am sometimes wrong. Probably more often than not. Well, that's what my wife will tell you anyway. But yes, that is the vehicle mode. It does roll quite nicely. If we bring in that mech suit, we can detach these weapons. You rotate the arms around, and then we can use the tabs on here. These can just peg in like so. Oh, it's like magic, isn't it? I don't really use the guns in this mode at all, but that is a vehicle mode. Comparing it to MP10, it's not huge. Let's compare it to Generation 1 Hot Rod. Okay, it's a Legends figure. It's designed to be small. From here, we need to bend this arm out and out again, and there's a slot just in here, and this tab is going to line up, locate and slide in. Do the same for both sides. Locate and slide inwards. To make sure the hands are rotated so that they are green side up, like so. Bring these tail pieces out to the back, and they're going to come all the way together, and they are on a double hinge, so we can push and compress and then tab those in together, just straightening that piece off. And then we bring in the big guns. They can just tab in on either side or the arms like this, and then we bring in our sword, which can come in, just peg and tab in, and actually spin without hitting anything, which is always a novel thing. I'm not sure if I was meant to get two swords. I can't see a way of incorporating both swords on this as a rotary blade. I'm not too keen on these pieces here, just kind of hanging around, not really doing anything. But again, that's not a bad helicopter mode. I've seen a lot worse. We do have some wheels, and it kind of rolls. I would have liked some way of connecting this storage container properly onto the bottom of spring. I maybe could just kind of wedge it in there between those leg sections so we can pick it up, bring down, and kind of drop off and drop the mech off. But all in all, that's not a bad alt mode. Really, I think that one's probably better, in my opinion, than the car if we just bring in a Sharkticon to give you an idea of the scale. I think that kind of works. It's definitely a fun toy. It's unique, and for their first kind of real offering into the Transformers market, I think they've done a pretty darn good job, and I am genuinely impressed. I don't like to promote companies that kind of rip off other third-party companies, but Mech Fan Toys do it so darn well. It's hard to fault them. Genuinely very impressed. Thanks again to TF Direct for making this review possible. If you found it useful, give it a big thumbs up, share, and of course subscribe. I've included a link in the description below here where these can be purchased. And until next time, from myself and Assault Soldiers and Mech-01, thanks for watching. Goodbye.